J-Moore, the very best reviews. Tell them none can contest, we gon'
What's good, everybody? Welcome to the show. Appreciate everybody for coming through. We're going to talk about a couple things today. The Tyre Nichols death tragedy by the Memphis police, and then the Super Bowl as well. We're going to start it off with the sports because the Tyre Nichols, once I get into that, it's going to get heavy and it's going to, so that's going to take a minute. So we're going to talk about sports a little bit. First off, kick it off. Talk about my Super Bowl predictions. You all, we could do a little bit of live call-ins tonight. If you guys want to, hit me up, tell me what you think about the Super Bowl, your predictions. And also, I'll open the lines back up again for Tyre Nichols, and we can have that conversation going also. So let's get that started. I already had to crack open the Drizzy drink, get that Heine going, because it's going to get heated. All right. I hope y'all like my new setup. I've been working to try to improve a lot of stuff behind the scenes. I'm almost to where I can really do what I need to do. Seem like once you get to a couple things forward, 2 steps forward, 1 step back. I mean, you get some things. I got some stuff. I thought I was straight. Now it's a computer issue with another computer and things. So seem like it's always something. But I hope y'all like and can see some of the changes I made with this setup. I'm going to have a couple different setups for when I go live and, trying to make it clear presentation. Y'all can see my ugly mug up close and personal. And, hopefully it'll make a better experience. All right, let me give a shout out to Miss Darius Shanice Malay. Let me know if I got that right. Miss Malay, she said, "Hey, Mr. Moore, good evening. First in the building. How you doing, sweetheart? Appreciate it. Hope you're having a good evening as well. My brother Jimmy was good. Relax and chill TV. Phil Sampy. Tressa C. What's up? Eagles by 7. Jimmy say he got Philly, and he ain't talking about the bliggity, a.k.a. Bloink. What's up, B? How you doing, sis? Juan Blaze, what's good, brother? All right, so let me pull up a little something on ESPN. So we know that it's Super Bowl is gonna be Kansas City and the Eagles, and it's gonna be a good matchup because they really 2 different teams. So Kansas City is based off of their quarterback, as we know. And they kind of go as he go. Now, Patrick Mahomes is amazing and got probably the most talent we've ever seen in a quarterback. But Jalen Hurts ain't bad, but the Eagles play physical football, and man, there's no substitution for that. So, yeah, they had a weaker schedule, but the way they play football is the difference. So when they play like old school football, ground and pound. They're going to slow it down where Mahomes ain't going to have a lot of opportunities to throw the ball. And their front 4 is really good for pass rush. They front 4 pass rush. I have to give credit where credit is due. They front 4 is amazing right now. Yeah, he is playing hurt, but he got 2 weeks to get off of that ankle. You talking about my homeboy? My homeboy, he'll be all right, and they'll give him a shot or something before he get out on the field. But yeah, the pass rush is brutal. The Philly pass rush is brutal. And see, that's the problem. Because when you have a brutal pass rush, and they really only rush their front four mostly. They don't always even rush 5 or 6. So when you can sit in that front four and they that effective to put pressure on the quarterback, it's not giving him enough time to make the right decisions and reads, which is then putting pressure on the way they play because they don't run the ball really, Kansas City. They really kind of one-dimensional, but that dimension is just so damn good. But and the Eagles are kind of the same way, one-dimensional ground and pound, but Jalen Hurts can pass and open it up, dink and dunk, throw a little bit. And I remember about a year ago, this one person that's supposedly a diehard Eagles fan was going off about Jalen Hurts and he not this, he not that. And we said, you got to give him time. He going to be all right. But anyway, we see that Jalen Hurts then got him to the Super Bowl. I'm trying to see where the damn info is on where I can go to I'll just go right here to their teams. But he got them there. So they're a little bit more dynamic offensively than Kansas City, actually, because we all know Kansas City is not going to run the ball. For some reason, I can't see over here. So I am going to predict a close game. I really want Patrick Mahomes to win because I like Patrick Mahomes. Man, for some reason, I can't see. Okay, here we go. I really like Patrick Mahomes. And I think he, probably, I thought Aaron Rodgers was the most talented quarterback I ever saw. But Patrick Mahomes is up there. You know what I'm saying? Talent-wise. Probably more talented than Aaron Rodgers because he can run, throw, accurate, tough. It is a lot of time, a lot of things he can do. This is another thing. I'm so glad, Tressa C, you brought this up. And I wanted to bring this up. And when it first happened, I thought about it immediately that it's 2 black quarterbacks. But I thought it was probably the second time, but I couldn't remember and I didn't really think and do the research. But, yep, it's the first time 2 black quarterbacks. And you know what? It's about to happen a whole lot more because the best quarterbacks in the NFL, damn near, 7 out of 10 are black, 6 out of 10 are black. So, it's about to go down pretty soon. Now, I didn't know they were both from Texas. I knew Mahomes was, but I didn't even think about where was from, Hurts. But so Mahomes, this is from what? This is the postseason. Well, we could even leave it on the postseason. So far this postseason, he done thrown for 500 yards. They only got 121 rushing yards from their running back. So we pretty much know what's about to happen with Kansas City. And if the Eagles front four, see the Kansas City offensive line, the reason that they didn't do well the other year is because they was hurt and banged up. And as soon as he got a line, he back in the Super Bowl. So I don't know, man. If they hold up, that's the game. And see, that's not sexy. So that's why a lot of people that watch football that don't really know, that's where the real game is happening. The fat boys. The fat boys are back. Hey, the front four in front of the quarterback and the front four trying to get to the quarterback, that's what's going to make this game. If the fat boys for Mahomes hold it down for him, they won. It's over. And if Philly's fat boys bust their ass, it's over. Philly won. And that is the key. It's just really that simple, really. Nah, there's a lot of work. And it ain't the sexy, long pass or, breakaway run and all of that. But that's where the whole game is going to happen. You said they bred players in Texas. They breed them big. So I don't know, man. I think that man, this is gonna be a good one because it's kind of easy to know what Kansas City gonna do as far as they gonna make passes, but they do short passes as they run game. That's what I used to do in Madden. If I ever had a person that had good run defense, I started using short screen passes and other things basically as the run game, substituting the run game. So they can do that. But I think that Philly gonna win. I'm gonna give my prediction. It's gonna be a close game because Philly is gonna slow it down with the run, and only if they have turnovers can either team break it open. I think, if it's turnovers, then they can break it open. All right. I'm gonna put the link in here if anybody want to talk about this game. Talk about the Super Bowl for a little bit before I go ahead and move the discussion over to Tyre Nichols' case. What y'all think about the Cowboys and Dak Prescott? And they kind of fell apart. I mean, the Cowboys, man, they got a lot of talent. And I think they coaching really, that's the difference. I think coaching in the NFL makes a bigger difference than in any other sport. Baseball would probably come second. And I think coaching is important in basketball, but it's affected the least out of the three major sports. I'm not too familiar with hockey and what coaches do in that. So out of the three sports I'm familiar with, football coaching is much more needed, much more complicated. And I think that's going to be another thing to come down to the Super Bowl as well, is the coaching, because Andy Reid, I mean, come on, man. He from Philly. He know what's going to be there, what to expect. Andy Reid is a Hall of Fame coach. I don't think too many people will disagree with that. Yeah, Andy Reid has been one of those coaches that's been close for a long time and never made it until he got with Mahomes. You could say he never really had a good enough team. But Andy Reid been an excellent quarterback coach. And he saw Mahomes over and they had just had him. And he did good. And he shipped his ass out of town to San Fran or wherever, Washington, and picked Mahomes, and look at what's happened. So I think Andy Reid is going to probably have the advantage in coaching, because the Eagles coach, although they're doing a good job, I don't think he on Andy Reid level. Now, of course, it all comes down to the players, and I think the 4-on-4 matchup is the key. So, Tressa, you a Philly fan? Yeah, man. So we'll see if it, you know how it all play out. Alex Smith, that's his name. Babe God. Alex Smith. Alex Smith was doing good. Yeah, he didn't do as good as the #1 pick in San Fran. I mean, he was picked over Aaron Rodgers. That's still something. But Alex Smith wasn't bad. They tried to say he was a game manager, which that's what a quarterback actually supposed to be. He's supposed to manage the game and make sure there's no turnovers. And they was very successful with Alex Smith. But, I mean, come on. He don't have the arm. He doesn't have. So a lot of quarterbacks, a game manager is what you want. But if you could get a playmaker that is a game manager as well, that's special. That's a Aaron Rodgers, a Mahomes, Tom Brady in his second half of his career, a Peyton Manning type stuff. So, you know, Alex Smith became a very good game manager, but he never put up 30, 40 touchdowns. I think he was like 25, but he would only have like 6 or 7 NOs, which is very, very good. Shoot, in my day coming up, 15 NOs was good. Peyton Manning started doing the 10 or less. And ever since then, now Aaron Rodgers will have a season with like 3. I still can't believe had that damn good in the season in Philly. What's his name? And then he did win the Super Bowl, but that was after he came back. What's old boy name that won the Super Bowl in Philly? He had that hell of a season with like 27 touchdowns and like 3 interceptions or something. What's his name? And the Bears had him, but he was, man, I don't know, man. That's when he had Chip Kelly as Chip Kelly probably could have been a good offensive coordinator in the NFL, but he want that money, that big paycheck, and he could get that big paycheck in college than the offensive coordinator paycheck in the NFL. But Chip Kelly, he did some weird stuff a little bit, but he was kind of innovative as well. Nick Foles, that's right, Nick Foles, Foliosis. Nick Foles wasn't bad though. I think he was better that year with Chip Kelly, but they didn't let him keep it. Savannah be on it. Try to put on a little Ralph. Try to make this corduroy look good. What is it, velvet? Got on the corduroy. When I was telling somebody about this, they like, you gonna buy corduroy? I'm like, you just don't know. It's gonna look good. Look good. What is it? Velvet? Nah, but Nick Foles, yeah. So, I mean, I'm gonna give my Super Bowl prediction. Man, I want to say the Eagles, but Mahomes got star power. And when you have a team with the best player on the field, you pick the best player on the field. That team usually wins. And I'm going to give it to Mahomes. I'm going to pick Mahomes. Everybody picking Philly. And I want to say it, and I get it. And that ground and pound is amazing. I'm trying to outthink it. My heart say Philly, but my mind is saying my homeboy. I got to ride with my homeboy. I'm going to pick him, Patrick Mahomes, and the Chiefs to win it by 14. It's going to be a turnover. Philly's going to have a turnover. And once they have that turnover, they won't be able to play their game plan because they'll be behind. And once they have the turnover and they're behind, they can't play the running game, ground and pound, because they'll be playing against the clock as well as the Chiefs. And I think that's going to put pressure on Hurts to make plays, which he'll then probably make another turnover. and that will seal the deal. They will have 2 turnovers at minimum, Philly. Remember, y'all saw this. I read this in my crystal ball, aka my head. Once Philly has this turnovers, it's going to put the pressure on them to put the ball in Jalen Hurts' hand to make a play. And it's over. All right. So that's that crushed blue velvet Snoop R. Kelly. That's that. Do, 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 do. Do, 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 do. That's that. You care to make a bet with the subs? Yes, I do. What's up? What's on the line? What's the bet? See, if y'all was in Discord, it definitely could make it because I could talk to you. And I know y'all wouldn't welch on the bet. So y'all gonna welch on the bet? Don't be a nigga. Don't renege on there. Nah, what's up? What's on the table? What kind of bet we talking? I'm gonna take a shot of this Tronio. Take a shot of the Tron. Once again, it's on. No. All right. So now I'm about to go ahead and break it on down and talk about the Tyre Nichols incident. You know, let's see. You betting Philly? Well, I don't know, Tressa. What's up? I'm open to the bet. Message me on Instagram. Let's see. Come up with some ideas. All right. So let me pull this up. And just for those that want to know or are not sure, I am not going to play the video. So I am not going to play the actual video. I will put links of the video and information that I talk about and show on here, but I won't actually play the video. If you haven't seen the video, the best way to sum it up is it looks similar to Rodney King beating at the end. But it's some things in the beginning that I do have a problem with what he did, and also understanding both sides of what happened. Not saying that the police are right, because they were definitely wrong, 100%. But understanding what happens if somebody sees this and maybe didn't understand or know what was really kind of going on after I break it down, maybe it could be helpful. Now, I'm going to talk about this case, but also some of my personal experiences growing up in Chicago, hanging out, running around, driving around, getting into stuff, and my experience with the police. I say from age 16, I got my license and started driving out there on my own. And I've said this before in videos about police traffic stops. It's a bad thing. I know that people ride around with stuff and it is needed, but a lot of things happen from traffic stops and escalate out of control for stupid stuff that was not necessary, that they could have sent a ticket in the mail or something. But anyway, that's a whole nother thing. It's like they shouldn't do traffic stops, but also it's kind of unavoidable to not do traffic stops. So it's just really a bad thing with traffic stops. But with that being said, I have been pulled over or had interactions with the police growing up in Chicago from age about 15, but definitely 16 to about 22. Around 22, I kind of wasn't out as much and driving around as much and doing as much things, so I didn't really get pulled over as much, and things changed a little bit. And as I've gotten older, I don't really do and hang out a lot and do certain things, and because of what happened in my early years getting pulled over between 16 and 22, at least a minimum of 20 times interactions with the police. You know, I've learned a lot of stuff. So I've had police have guns directly at my chest this close, ready to shoot. I've had police beat up a friend multiple times in front of me. All kind of things. Steal stuff, take stuff, let me go, help out, all kind of different interactions. So the one thing I will say is this. Now, Ill Woods, I did not know this. He says, did you know Tyree was dating one of the cop child's mother? And that was the motive. Wow. Now, that right there is something I did not know. And if that is the case, then they take it to a whole nother level. And I definitely did not see or hear that one. But what I was going to say is that the one thing I will say with the police and interactions, be calm, okay? If you are ever pulled over by the police, and I know I got kind of an older crowd, older audience, so a lot of people I may be saying this to know this already. I'm pretty sure most of you all do, but you never know who may not. But be calm. One thing that I learned is like most of my cars, well, not most, all of my cars that I've always have tinted windows. And so when I was younger and I got pulled over and the police got their guns drawn, it's at night, and I have always like limo tint, they'd be scared. And he like, man, don't ever, have police come up here with your windows up like that. We don't know if you got a gun pointed at us or what. We don't know what's going on. Who is in there? Roll your damn windows down. And so one thing, if you got tinted windows and get pulled over, the first thing you do, roll all your windows down so that they can see that they ain't about to get shot. Police really are scared. They may not act it and say they tough, this, that, and the other, but when it come down to it, they be scared. And you don't want them to be in a situation to react and do something out of fear. You got to help them help themselves in a way. So always, even to this day, if I get pulled over, I'll roll the windows down. Now, one thing about this video that has been the same thing that we keep seeing over and over in these police brutality videos, and it's not about a black or white cop, it's about the way policing is structured in America. That's why when people were saying, what was they saying, abolish the police, it shouldn't have been abolish the police or whatever. It should be reform police, because the policing system in America sees black people as criminals, period, as a danger. So automatically, if they're in a black neighborhood and make a stop, they're more apprehensive than if they make that same stop in a white neighborhood. And it's not because black people are more violent people than white people. And that's a whole nother thing to go down. But the likelihood of a poor neighborhood having a problem versus middle class or affluent, so poor neighborhoods all around the world normally have more crime than middle class and affluent neighborhoods. It don't matter the color, but Anyway, the thing that I noticed in this video is when the cops are saying, give me your hands or lay flat. Okay, bro, y'all doing too much. Hold on. All right. Okay. I am. That doesn't justify them beating him to death. Don't get me wrong. But you have to be smarter in these situations, everyone, to not give people excuses or reasons, because sometimes that's all they looking for is a reason or an excuse to put a foot up yo. You know what I'm saying? That's all they need. You have to never give people an excuse or a reason. You gonna have to figure out your own reason and excuses, because I ain't about to give you one. You know, and I never call police bro. They not my bro. We not friends. They not fam. I be like Debo. I treat them with respect, but when they leave, it's fork them. But when I'm talking to a police, yeah, I may sound like a punk or whatever, but I've had some bad situations, and because I say yes, sir, or yes, officer, or no, officer, or I didn't know, officer, or sorry, officer, or sir, or whatever, it helps. Every little bit helps. You know, we don't have to hang out. My goal is to not go to jail, not get a ticket, not get beat, not get shot. And if a yes, sir, yes, officer, whatever, no, sir, no, officer helps to get that accomplished, so be it. I didn't want to go for no bag of weed or because I felt this or that. I got to prove something with them. I don't have that. My proof is getting away free. You know, it's just a lot of this, going on, man, that you say, but what about this coming from a mother of a black autistic child? What happens then? Will they target my child as non-compliant, or will they take advantage? This is the fear that I'm living with. And that is a real fear. So what you would have to do is go over this all the time with his whole life about being calm with the police and trying not to do anything that could jeopardize his life. You have to just keep going over it and over it and over it. With him being autistic, I mean, I don't know, you don't have to get all into the details and all of that, but based on his needs, whatever it takes, however long it takes, because you can't go over it with the police. You can only go over it with him. So, and then as he gets older, I don't know if he's driving, living on his own, all of those things happen. Maybe he can't drive by himself if he's not able to properly communicate, if he's pulled over that, hey, I'm not under any drugs or anything, but this is what's I don't know the situation. Again, we don't have to get too much into your details right here, but you have to basically train him on how to deal with the police and communicate, hey, this is my situation, and don't take it the wrong way, so to speak. Because me, myself, and my situation now, driving and not being able to walk, if they say get out the car, I'm not able to without getting certain things, a chair and stuff. So if I say, no, I'm not, I can't, well, get out the car. I can't. You gonna get out the car. No, I can't. Like it was a video on Instagram of some dude doing that. Then I created a confrontational situation. But if they pull me over and they say, get out the car, and I'm like, officer, I'm disabled. I'm already gonna have my windows down so he gonna see I've got a chair. I will get out the car, but you gotta allow me to use this. If you feel more comfortable searching the car or getting it out for me, feel free. And once I'm able to get into that, I'll be happy to sit out the vehicle. You can do whatever you feel you need to do. That's how I would handle that. You know what I mean? I'm going to talk to them about that. You know, they people too, man. They trying to go home like everybody else after work. Now, I'm not saying they don't make mistakes or they not crooked or don't do shadies. I'm not saying all of that. But I think on a random or general pullover, the chances of you talking your way out of it or being calm and talking your way into a situation that is not as bad as what we have seen is very high. It's very high. And, you know, that's one thing I tell my son when the cops come, be calm. Yes, sir, no, sir, or officer, whichever one you want to use. And answer the questions. Don't say more than you need to say. Don't say nothing else other than whatever it is they asking you, and answer that, whatever it is you need to answer, so you can keep it moving. But, you know, you got to be calm. I've gotten pulled over. Now, I was in Chicago, and they got a lot of crime to worry about. So getting pulled over with a bag of weed, it's not like that's like the biggest deal. They ain't gonna go take you into the station for $10 bag of weed. But you never know if you piss people off what they may do, you know? And so I've had them do that and take it and let me go. When I was younger, my friend and I, you know, we wasn't even 21 and had some drinks in the car sitting somewhere. And, you know, came and take the stuff and do things. They could have took us to jail or took the car and took it and towed it. Instead, they stole a bunch of stuff out of the trunk that he was going to sell at the pawn shop. But what would you rather do? Give up a stereo and a Sega Genesis, or be dealing with some court cases and getting your car out of being towed and tickets and all of this stuff? You know, so, you know, it's a lot of stuff. One time, the cops almost shot me. So it was me and my friends. It was me and 3 of my friends. And we was coming from, I don't know where we was coming from, but wherever we was coming from, we was going to my house in the garage, because in the backyard of my house, it was a big garage, but it wasn't in the best of condition. And we just had some stuff in there kind of stored in like an old couch. So that was like our little smokehouse. And so we was coming from somewhere. I don't know where we was coming from. And we cut through the alley. And as we was cutting through the alley, right when we were close to my gate, we saw the police zoom past with the lights on, the detective car, real fast. And then when we heard the brakes go, and so when we heard the brakes go like that, we hurried up and ran in the backyard, and I closed the gate. And then we went into the little garage and was sitting in there. And so we was just kind of laughing and stuff, thinking, you know, whatever, not taking it too serious, being stupid, because we should have went right in my house if I'd have been thinking about it. Instead of sitting in there, I'd have went right in the house. But we shouldn't have ran either. But anyway, we wasn't like they saw us run. But we hear them come, and they are trying to find out where we was, and we could hear them trying to check the next door neighbor's yard and kicking the gate. They end up coming in my yard and finding they was good cops. I had to give it to them. They found us in there, And but my friend hid the damn weed in the barbecue grill, so they ain't find that. They wasn't that good. Because we had to light it up when it was over, baby. But we saw they ended up coming in my backyard. And so they busting on the garage door. So my garage door was like a barn door open like that. And if I went through there, I couldn't lock it. But it was a side door on the side. This is a garage that came with the original house, which this house was built in like 1908, so it's old. And then on the side is the door, and it's like a stucco garage building. And the door, my mom had all kind of shrubbery and plants, so you really couldn't see the door right there unless it was in the daytime, and it was night, so you really couldn't see the door. So they kicking on the door, and it was windows, so they had shined the light and saw us in there. They like, get out of there. We gonna shoot. Get out of there. I'm like, all right, we can't come out the front door. I got to come out the side door. They're like, y'all come out of there. Come out. So I guess they was looking for somebody shooting or something. And so I opened the door, and I came out slowly with my hands up, and he was like, don't move. And that gun was right here. Right there in my chest. And I was like, yes, officer, I'll stay here. You know, don't shoot, this, that, and the other. He's like, come out slow. I came out slow. I was so calm and talking to him. That was death. That was death. I was like, what, 17? Like 17. That was instant death. And so I came out. He was like, get down on the ground. It wasn't him. It was like 3 or 4 of them out there. They're like, get out on the ground. We get out. I get down on the ground. My next friend come out. He get down on the ground. My next friend come out, get down on the ground. My next friend come out talking crazy. Man, what y'all doing, man? We ain't do nothing. They foot sweep him like the Karate Kid. This boy damn near bust his head. They like, man, shut your ass up. Get your ass down. Man, he the only one that talk crazy, and he the only one that got a foot up his ass. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's not right. But in the meanwhile, you got that foot up your ass. No, it wasn't right. But trying to go back and get punishment or retribution is not helpful after the fact, because you already suffered now. You know, and sometimes it could be too much to recover from. He lucky he didn't get shot. You know, they could have shot him and said they thought he was reaching for a gun. It was dark back there. Yeah, they would have been wrong. Even if they would have went to jail, he still would be dead. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. So many times I've been pulled over, and so I've had friends talking crazy, and they get taken to jail or the ticket or get beat up. And I'll be calm and trying to be smooth and don't have them same problems. Not to say, again, they are wrong when they do that. They are. And another thing that I saw when watching this Tyre Nichols video, and it made me think about things in my life. When you run, same thing they teach you in life. Don't run from a dog. He'll chase you. When you're in a fight, and you don't have to be a cop. Say you in a fight, and all the men, I know you're going to recognize this. You fighting somebody, and they run, and you got to chase them. Soon as you catch them, what you going to do? You're going to put your foot in their ass for making you run. It's because of adrenaline. Adrenaline is going to make you more aggressive in that situation. Now, police are supposed to be trained to deal with this and handle this properly, but they said these cops were rookies. Human nature also is a factor. I'm not saying that, you know, he got They just beating him. They had him bit. I don't know, man. It's so many things that went wrong in that video. Now, if what Ill Woods is telling me about Juan Marley, you're right. You can't if I'm fighting you and I'm kicking your butt and you run and make me chase you and I catch you, the first thing you're gonna do is really kick their ass. That's just what happens, man. It's just what happens. You ain't gonna be like, man, you ran. It's okay. Let me give you a hug. That's just not what happened. And so I'm not saying that, he's not that young. He was 29. Now, if what Illwood said that they knew he was sleeping with one of their baby mothers, then that's really going to complicate this situation. And it takes it to a different level because that could be murder with intent. You see what I'm saying? If he knew that, sort of like how they said the George Floyd situation, he knew that the women at the strip club liked him and may have been jealous of that. So when you have those things, it takes it to a different level. It's not involuntary manslaughter. That's murder. And I watched that whole video and I watched it from a couple different ones because they have some with a short version. They have some that they piece together where the camera fell, but you can only hear the audio, but it's a street light camera and they put the audio match with the street light camera and things. They really, really, really beat this dude bad. They was kicking him in the head, all kind of stuff. And then you can hear them talking about he tried to reach for my gun. He on drugs. I thought the amount of beating that he took and was not unconscious, I was kind of shocked myself. Now, me personally, thank God, I've never been beaten in a fight like that. Really, I never been beaten up, been punched and stuff, but I could pop right up. I wasn't like black and blue or had a black eye or incapacitated. So I've never had that happen to me, thank God. I don't know never what I would be able to take. We don't know what we would be able to take in life. Hopefully we don't find out. Nobody wants to find out. That's literally the hard way. But looking at that dude was skinny. They say he was around 150 pounds. These were some big dudes. And they was kicking them with boots, uppercuts. They really put some beat down on this dude. And he was wobbly while they had him sitting there or whatever. And they tried to say the ambulance took 20 minutes to get there. But even if the ambulance got there immediately, all of his stuff was internal. They needed him in the hospital immediately. And I don't know, man. There's so much swelling and bleeding internally. They beat this dude bad. 5 dudes stomped him. Big dudes. But then, wow. I just don't. It was messed up. And it made me think about my son out there. I hope that he remembers some of the things that I told him about dealing with the police. And Juan Blaze, you said when you a kid, your parent whoop you worse if you try to run too. That's right. That's true. That is true. It happened to me. So, and I mean, of course, your parent is different, but in a way, they're teaching you life lessons. When you run, of course, if somebody trying to kill you or shoot at you, you better run. I'm not saying that, but when you're in certain situations, well, put it this way. When you run, it makes the person chasing you more aggressive, you know. And if you're the chasing person, running, as people that exercise know, going to release endorphins, testosterone, all of this stuff that you're going to get a buildup in a high, a rush. Now you're upset because it's a reason that you're running that's negative. It's just a bad situation. Police officers are supposed to be trained to handle this properly, to deal with this properly, but they're people. And as we all know, people make mistakes. It's unfortunate when police make mistakes the most because people die. People go to jail for crimes they didn't commit. You know, it's like a pilot. You can't have a pilot making a mistake every now and then. It's too costly. Too many lives are lost. They don't allow that. But for some reason, we keep allowing this with law enforcement. And, you know, that's the problem with cops. People were saying they all black. It's because of policing. And it's just about seeing, they built this Scorpion unit. So they was part of this special task unit, Scorpion, where they basically pull over people and shake them down for information. Pull over people, low-level traffic stops, and try to shake them down for more information to work their way up to bigger bust. And, you know, it's just, it was ridiculous that they had all these special units basically all on black neighborhoods and black folks, you know. Now, they did say that the last 2 years, Memphis had an all-time high in murders. So the last 2 years, they reached a record high in murders. So for those that don't know about Memphis crime, which I didn't know until this, they have had a surge in crime. And all of these officers were like, I believe, between 26 and 32 or 34 years old. They were all young black cops. But again, it's about the training. And if anybody watched that show with John Bernthal, We Own This City, about Baltimore policing, you will see that when people say it's about police training, it's not necessarily about the book, because the book ain't nothing but a piece of paper. It's the officer that trains you on the street that you really learn the job. And each officer keeps getting trained from the same rotten apple. That's why some people will say abolish the police. They're not clarifying it. But if you get rid of them all at once and start fresh, then you can get rid of all of that systemic, ingrained, passed down training that's off the book. But that could not happen, though. That's not realistic. You can't replace everybody in a police station at once. You got to have somebody to train somebody to do the job. You can't just put something all in from scratch like that. Because then they wouldn't know what to do in the meantime. So that would never really work. But this right here, it says that 2 other men, a lot of these other officers had complaints from other people. And this officer here, 2 men said that he pulled the gun on them and said, I'll blow your face off. Now, one thing about this case that did disturb me is that they fired these officers real fast. What y'all think about that? I mean, it's funny how fast they got fired because they was black. They held Derek Chauvin's job for how long? They stood by these people. It wasn't in this fast. So it's funny how they do the right thing when the officers are black. But when the officers are white, you know, it's the boys in blue and we stand together and all of that. Now this dude said he'll blow somebody's face off. And, you know, he's 24. Well, these people 24 and 27 said that the cop, just days after they released the body cam videos, he said he'd blow somebody's face off. Now, he could have been stressed out knowing that he about to, you know, be in trouble pretty soon. So, but it's sad because these young brothers, when they probably signed up to be cops, they probably had the best intentions. I'm pretty sure. They probably didn't say, I'm going to be threatening this and doing that and robbing and stealing and doing whatever they may have been doing allegedly. I'm not sure. But they probably had good intentions, thinking, hey, it's a good job. Take care of my family. I can help out. I'm trying to assume the best. And look where they end up. All in the blink of an eye. A random traffic stop for nothing. He wasn't drunk. He wasn't speeding. There was no reason to even do all of this. Il Woods, I sent you a video in your DM. I mean, it's allegedly what happened, but if so, that's sad and horrible. Okay, I'm gonna check it out. Juan Marley, you say, nah, we need whole new trainers. It can't be worse than getting killed by the so-called protection. I know. I agree. I just don't know how they can do it. The only thing I can think of at this moment with short thought is that you would have to build a separate police station, like separate police force in a place. Leave the existing one operating for a while, and then you hiring and building up a whole completely separate one that new training, new people have nothing to do with these people building it up. And once it's fully ready and operational, fire all them people and get rid of them. And they cannot be hired back as police. Or maybe if they was there for just a short period of time, less than a few years, maybe they could be hired and retrained. But I would say, and that might be hard to do and very costly and expensive, but that might be the only way to do it, because you can't go without cops. And if you put the trainer in there by themselves, they probably get bullied by cops, or they just do whatever the trainer say so they can pass the test. And then once the trainer gone, go back to business as usual, you know? So, but yeah, they'll probably say it's not enough money to do it, but that's probably the only way you could actually do it. You would have to leave the stuff going as is, because you can't leave nobody without policing. But you would have to build that up with nothing to do with that at all. None of the people, none of the stuff. You could take over their cars and stuff once you fire them all, but you have to leave all them people alone. And then all those people, see, police have unions. So the union would be against that, because you would make all them lose their jobs and stuff. It's just so messy and complicated now. You know, police probably shouldn't have a union. But then again, if they didn't, they already don't get paid much to do a hell of a job. So it's just very complicated, and a lot of things that's going on with that I think policing in America, I'm sad to say, I think it's going to actually get worse. I think it's going to get worse. I don't think it can really get better, because the more that we see, the more people going to get outraged, maybe more riots and things, which then will have more police and more things going on. And with inflation and the economy, global warming, water crisis, all this stuff happening, I think policing is going to get worse in America and in the world. I just put the link if anybody want to come up and talk about this case before we get up out of here. But you know, it's unfortunate. Another thing about that video is that he was crying for his mother. And I will tell you, as a man and who's been through a few things, that I've never called for my mom, and that's an act of desperation. When a man is calling, a grown man and a black man, I mean, I can relate. If he's calling for his mama for help, that is, you have taken that person down so low that they have been reverted to childhood desperation. Like, that is deep. That is really bad. That's traumatic, extremely traumatic to do that. You know what I'm saying? That is really, really, really hard. Yeah, like, that is over with. I could not see myself doing that. So if that happened, that almost make me have a tear in my eye even thinking that, to that level. That is very, very hard for me to see. When George Floyd and them, it make me think of the level of desperation you have to be a grown man, and that's where you're at. That's hard thing to see and to have that person go through. I really feel bad for him. And his mama's alive. George Floyd's mama was dead, which lets you know how big of a desperation. It's not even about your mama, like your mama gonna come with a belt and get him off of you or something. It's that you've been reverted down to childhood. You know what I mean? It's broken you down as a man into a child where you need mama. That's all you can think of, or God. And that's really, really bad. You know, that's really bad. What's up, Gina? Yeah, I feel you. That made me really mad to see that again. That's just really sad, man, to have that done to a person. That's very traumatic. And then they die. So then that's even worse, that they had to suffer so much trauma and everything before they die. And it took 3 days for this man to pass, unfortunately, from internal injuries and things. I mean, the police, they tried to lie, say he tried to grab the gun, this, that, and the other. I don't see how these cops keep doing this, though, knowing that they're on camera. It's just really, really something else. All right, let's see. I just see this new article right here, And again, I guess not too many people want to come up and talk tonight about this or the Super Bowl, but well, I'm done talking about the Super Bowl. But there's the link if anybody wanted to talk before I get up out of here. But before I go, I did just see this headline. I'm gonna read it. It says the Nichols family dismisses rumor in Memphis man's beating death at the police stop. What does it say? A rumored relationship between Tyre Nichols and the wife or girlfriend of one of the officers accused of the murder is not true, according to his stepfather. So what Ill Woods was saying, the family is saying is not true. And I also put this article here. And for anybody, if they want to see it and read it, it also has video in there if you didn't see the video and was looking to see that. But it says that speaking at a prayer vigil in Memphis Monday night, Rodney Wells sought to dispel the idea. And it says that my son was not messing around with one of the officers' wives. He told the news. That's just a rumor. One thing I will say is I do like that he has a respectable picture. And I think that that's something that we are lacking as well, especially as black men and women. Too many women, only pictures they got is club clothes with their booty poked to the side. And too many men, all they got is, dreads and shades and chains and looking like a rapper or a gangster, a thug. And to people not from this culture or community, that's what they see, and they don't feel the same empathy and pain for our people and our loss because they say, well, look at him. That's another gang banger or a rapper or whatever, and they prejudge. This man has a nice suit, tie. I like that, and we should all have some pictures looking nice and presentable. I like how they got these cops looking like thugs now that they are. Jay Sean Brown, that's still not a reason to beat him like that. Oh no, I ain't never say they were justified. I'm just explaining human nature and things. I also said police are supposed to be trained not to beat you down after they chase you and things like that, because that's what the average person will do. They're supposed to have training and things to not make these same mistakes and put the same, people that they're supposed to protect in danger. They did all of that to him as if he was a murder suspect. Yeah, what was all of that for? It wasn't even for no good reason. No good reason. And now they sitting there thinking, man, we should have let his ass go. The hell? He said he just wanted to go home. We over here doing all this for nothing. But that's also, you guys should look up the Stanford Prison Experiment. Look up the Stanford Prison Experiment if you're not familiar with it. It was an experiment done where they had students play prisoners and students play guard. And when you have power over someone, a person can become drunk with that power and forget what's really going on and what's really important. And I think a lot of these cops get drunk with the power and forget that these are people, somebody's brother, sister, son, mother, father, and they think they above the law, that they're God. And sometimes they forget about this stuff. They wouldn't want another cop to do that to their child or their father or mother, but they'll do it to somebody else. But it could easily be done to your wife, or your husband. Yeah, exactly. They chased him and beat him as if he was the school shooter. But then the school shooters don't get this type of treatment. It's it's because black bodies are seen as more violent, more aggressive, more dangerous, even when they are not a threat and are unarmed, than a white body that's just actually murdered people. That's crazy, man. I don't know how they can even fix that one, man. That's why I said they have to build something totally separate and get rid of all of that, because that right there, that's insane. Anyway, I'm about to get up out of here, y'all. I appreciate y'all for watching. I'll see y'all on the next one. Everybody, y'all be safe out there in them streets. Stay calm and treat them like Debo. Give them what they want, but when they leave, you start talking again. And I pray for Tyre Nichols and the family, and man, hopefully we can improve, but it's a lot of work. So with that being said, I'll see y'all on the next one. Deuces.